Welcome back. We'll get to Ben Roethlisberger's injury update in a second, but first, Monday Night Football, Browns, Jets. Le'Veon Bell catching a short pass makes one guy miss, hurdles over another for a 17-yard gain.
And Jenna, I know you left that game saying, okay, we talked about L. Bell a lot last year, but he's nice with it. He's a good football player.
Man, he was the only weapon they had.
The only one.
And he still found a way to give you 120 yards from scrimmage in a game where no one could do anything for the Jets.
All right, well, this guy did something for the Browns. OBJ pulling a sensational one-handed catch with Jets defenders all over him.
He's got amazing hands. He practices it all the time, spends a lot of time at it. He works on his overall hand strength. He just does that Jerry Rice drill with the bricks and everything. Remember we had it on the show, the video. Tremendous wide receiver. Ready to have a really good season. His body's feeling good. And with Baker Mayfield, the way he can throw the ball, Nick, they should continue to be special.
Hang on, Odell wasn't done. Fourth quarter, turns a 9-yard pass into an 89-yard touchdown, reached speeds up to 21.7 miles an hour on this play.
Oh, yeah, he's a little injured. The free safety was the only one on the field, but Odell took away the angle. That's the reason why he cut back on him. He wasn't going to get into a foot race because watch, the safety has the angle on him. And then, oh, let me eat that angle
and the
up.
Safety can't change directions quickly enough. Got no shot.
He can't flip his hips.
Greg Williams likes having those safeties line up 18 to 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and this is what it's trying to prevent. But when you're an athlete like Odell, you're drawing dead with that much open space in front of him.
All right, moving on. So the worst-case scenario has officially unfolded for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger will have surgery on his right elbow and will miss the remainder of the season. Ben released a statement saying, "This is shocking and heartbreaking for me to miss this much of a season and feel like I'm letting down so many people. I can only trust God's plan, but I'm completely determined to battle through this challenge and come back stronger than ever next season. The Steelers committed 3 years to me this offseason, and I fully intend to honor my contract and reward them with championship-level play. I feel in my heart I have a lot left to give." All right, Nick, what does the future hold for Big Ben? Have we seen the last of him in Pittsburgh?
I don't think we've seen the last of him in Pittsburgh. I take him at his word that he's going to try to come back and honor his contract, and the Steelers then will honor the $30-ish million per year they owe him going forward over the next 2 seasons after this year on that contract. I do think that when Big Ben's done playing, we will say the last playoff game Ben Roethlisberger ever played in was that shocking home defeat to the Jacksonville Jaguars after the Steelers' 13-3 season in 2017. I think that while Ben is planning on coming back, the team he comes back to is going to be one of the least talented teams he's ever played for, just like the team he's on right now is one of the least talented teams he's ever played for. Big Ben will be age 38. He turns 38 in March. Only 17 quarterbacks in league history have even started a season at that age or older. And I think you were seeing already, admittedly very early parts of the season, a deterioration in his play that you would not expect to all of a sudden jump in the other direction after an injury. And lastly, Big Ben is not Tom Brady, and he is not Drew Brees when it comes to health, nutrition, working out.
You could throw Eli and probably Phillip Rivers in there, too, who both take care of
Absolutely.
themselves.
And now Big Ben has had a playing weight that has fit his playing style. He's a rugged quarterback. He takes hits. He shakes off hits. He's a warrior in the pocket, all those things. But a guy like that that's going to now be away from football longer than he's been at any point in his life, a guy who 2 years ago was contemplating retirement, the idea that he's going to attack this rehabilitation with the vigor he would have at 25, I don't see it. And so it's devastating for the Steelers. He's saying all the right things, but I think the best days of Big Ben are behind him, and I think the Steelers as a Super Bowl contender with Big Ben as their quarterback, the chapter got closed on that, or the book got closed on that midway through the second quarter. But you do think he's coming
back to rejoin the team?
Oh, I don't think he's going to retire. I believe him that he's going to play again. I just don't think the team's going to be good enough, or he's going to be good enough.
Yeah, I disagree with you, and it's impossible to get to where Ben is in his football career and everything that he's been through. Remember he was in that bad motorcycle accident?
Yep.
And I've seen Ben play hurt so much. So to me, you know, what you're saying about the other quarterbacks and everything is true. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Eli. These guys are in tremendous shape. But none of those guys are the athlete Ben Roethlisberger is. None of them have the talent Ben Roethlisberger does. If you ask all of them, and they were telling the truth, Tom Brady, hey, man, would you rather take Ben Roethlisberger's tools? And Tom's won a lot in everything. He'd been like, yes, his physical skills, as big as he is, as nimble as he is in the pocket, he can throw a ball any type of way you want to. We talk about Patty Mahomes varying the speed. Tell me what Ben Roethlisberger can't do. Throw it to the flat, throw it across the middle, intermediate, put some loft on it, bomb someone deep down the middle. He can make every type of throw. He's been in every type of game, and the guy's got heart. You don't get to where he is and play the way he's played unless you have a big heart. And this will be one of the biggest challenges of his career. And it's not about being in shape. He don't have to go out and take over this whole new regiment, all of a sudden become a vegan and everything. Hey, Cam Newton went out. Cam's in great shape. Cam can't throw the ball, so the nutrition part don't have nothing to do with throwing the ball. And that's all we want Ben to do, unless you think he's going to come back doing the read option or something. But I believe that Ben Roethlisberger will respond to this. Yes, he did talk about retirement a couple years ago, but obviously he made a recommitment to football, and the Pittsburgh organization, it's hard for me to believe over the next 3 years they won't be in the playoffs. If they get their defense fixed, they'll be back in the playoffs. Their wide receiver coach, Ray Sherman, he'll get those guys fixed. If they give him 1 year in free agency, there's a bunch of veteran players that know Ray Sherman, know his reputation. They'll come there and play in Pittsburgh for less money. It's not Tommy John surgery. I believe Ben bounces back because all that fitness and everything, it doesn't matter when you have the type of skill set. And it speaks to what type of talent that Ben does. You would have to go down a whole bunch of quarterbacks, the ones that are older, until you get to Aaron Rodgers and say, who has more talent than Ben Roethlisberger?
Right.
None of those other guys do. The only one's got more arm talent is Aaron Rodgers.
What about the state of the team? Do you think where the team is will affect whether he comes back or how quickly he comes back?
Well, I think we can. I'm almost ready to just put aside the idea that he won't come back. I don't think you release that statement and have the contract that he just signed and
so
the dollars.
So it doesn't affect him at all. They could have an atrocious season
because if they have an atrocious season, I think it will be attributed, even if it's unfair, simply to him not being there.
Right.
Now, you guys know I was skeptical on them even with him, but now if they go 5-11, people will say, I think a lot of people will say, well, yeah, of course. I mean, you lost your starting quarterback. What do you expect? You lost a quarterback who's been there. They've never had a losing record the entire time he's been the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only losing record the Steelers have had this century was the year before he got there, which allowed them to draft him in the middle of the first round, 14th pick or whatever it was, 11th pick out of Miami, Ohio. So, no, I don't think he's coming back. I believe him on that. Now, are they going to have the same GM? Are they going to have the same coach? What type of team are they going to have? We know they're not going to have a first-round pick this year because of the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade. Instead, they're going to have him replacing the first-round pick, which will go to your point about upgrading the defense, second-year player out of Alabama. But, no, I believe he's coming back. I just don't think this team has enough talent to offset a coming-off injury deteriorated Ben Roethlisberger. Chris obviously disagrees.
Yeah, well, what team could recover from losing 3 superstars in less than 2 years? L. Bell, free agency, gone. A.B. shot himself out, yelled himself out of the building. Ben Roethlisberger hurt. When they start looking to their short future, Ben Roethlisberger is going to be a part of that, all right? They will get their defense fixed. If they get their defense fixed, that is the key, because then coming back, you don't have to put all that pressure on Ben to throw for 5,000. When Ben comes back, though, I can guarantee you're going to throw for 4,000 yards next year. They will get other wide receivers. Dante Moncrief, as I told people, I'm glad Twitter found out, but I've been telling them since the preseason, he is not the answer. He is not a number 2 receiver. Don't make him a bad person, but he is not the answer opposite of James Washington and Juju Smith-Schuster. So I do believe Ben will come back, and I don't believe that the nutrition and all those things have anything to do with the heart. And when it's a guy decides that he wants to be able to do something, he doesn't have to change much of his regimen. All he's got to do is listen to his physical therapist. All right? Ben Roethlisberger is one quarterback in the offseason. When that last game, when he takes his cleats off, A lot of times he used to tell other quarterbacks, first time he putting them back on is when they go to training camp. It's because he is that gifted. People might say, oh, he's lazy. We have had people in sports like that. We got Koepka, the golfer. He don't practice a whole bunch right now. He's dominating the PGA Tour. The guy's gifted. You might not like it. You might not be your cup of tea. Jenna, of course, you know, the eating regimen and all that, would he be better? Yes, he would. But he doesn't have to, and it just speaks of how talented he is.
All right, the big news this morning, Ben Roethlisberger is done for the season. Steelers are 0-2, so we shall see what lies ahead for the organization. Coming up, can the Saints stay in the playoff hunt until Drew Brees returns? That's next on First Things First. I'll train him. He'll be my guy pretty soon.